Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel and I own and operate Turn of the Century Antiques, which is out here in Denver, Colorado, and it's the home of Virtual Doll Convention, where we put out all kinds of wonderful doll content and doll offerings every single month, and we put it all out on the internet, and we want to be your doll besties. So welcome, whoever you are. We're so glad you're here, and if it's you, my good buddy, thank you for coming back and watching this. It's been so long since we have caught up. It's been way too long. So let's take it back to the beginning. Well, I don't know how far back we're gonna go, but I had every intention that we would catch up way before now. So Mr. Walker Paul is over 10 weeks old as this airs, and I truly thought that I would be back on camera doing videos and catching up with you within a couple weeks of having him, and it has definitely not worked out that way. And I think my last catch-up video was around 36 weeks. So it's been way too long. It's been a long while, but it's been a journey. It has been such a journey, a good journey, ups and downs, but I can't wait to catch up with you today and share what's been going on. And so let's hang out. I'm here at the doll shop, and this is, if you're new here, this is a doll shop that my mother, and when I say our mother too, Paul's not here, he's in the back shipping, but Paul works here too, my younger brother. I also have an older brother, but we have been at this doll shop for 45 years, and my mother started it at another doll shop actually down the street, and then when this one became available, she bought the building, and we've been at this location for 40 years, but it's been a doll shop in Denver for 40 years, which is so amazing, and in business for 45 years. We're still in business. We do the Virtual Doll Convention now, which is in like a sister company to what we do, and I have my little bubbly soda, a sister company to the doll shop, but there's a lot going on here. So we've got both things. We have a doll shop that has antique and vintage dolls for sale that are here if you come in person, but also a good part of the real estate of this shop is actually my mother's personal and private collection, which we put on display after she passed away in 2020, and it stays up. We change it around, but it stays up. None of it's for sale, and you can come and enjoy it. World-class, beautiful, incredible examples of antiques and teddy bears and toys and all kinds of really fun things. So that's what the doll shop does. And then we started Virtual Doll Convention in late 2018, really ramped up in 2019, and here we are in 2026, still doing our thing. Virtual Doll Convention has taken shape in different ways, and we've done different things, and I mean, a lot of it has played into what we do at Virtual Doll Convention. A lot of it has, as far as content and things, plays a lot into what's going on in my life. So right now, I am 10 weeks postpartum from having Mr. Walker Paul, who is just on the other side of this wall, and his father is watching him right now because I wanted to have a conversation with my friends without worrying about the baby. So no, this is not a Budweiser. This is a bubbly, I'm just kidding, a bubbly melted ice pop flavor. So it's cherry, lime, and raspberry with other natural flavors. So we'll give it a shot, but it's very 4th of July. I really love sparkling water. Let me know what you think of it. I didn't used to like it, but I really like it now. Oh, that does taste like one of those 4th of July melted ice pops. That's fun. So most of you that are watching know my story. You know our story. You've been with us since the beginning. You've been a customer of ours for a very long time. So I don't need to catch everyone up to the very beginning. But when I say let's start at the beginning, I guess we'll start at when I had Walker. And his name is Walker. His middle name is Paul. Paul is a special name to our family because my brother's name is Paul. My dad's middle name is Paul. But Derek's father, who passed away, his name is Paul. And he passed away when I was 30 weeks pregnant with Holland Diane. And Diane is my mom's name, and we named Holland's middle name after Diane. So Walker Paul. And Walker was pretty much the only name that Derek and I agreed on. We both came up with names. I did the majority of the name homework, and I came up with, I thought, a decent amount of names that I really liked. And either Derek didn't like them or he liked them, but he had a friend that that caused him trouble in school, so it had bad memories attached, and I get that. But that's why we didn't do a lot of names. But when I said Walker, he was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. I like that name. And then we kind of marinated on it for a few weeks, and then we decided to do Walker. So I like it. Let me know what you think. I think it's cool. And Walker and Holland, and I think it's very sweet. Walker, Paul, and Holland Diane. our sweet babies. But the pregnancies, I've talked about it. I'm not going to harp on it too long, but the whole experience for me has been completely different. And a lot of people told me that. A lot of moms told me that. The nurses told me this. I knew, I guess, going into it that maybe they wouldn't be the same. But when you've only had one type of experience, that is sort of that's the only thing I knew. So when my experience with pregnancy went completely haywire as compared to my first one, where I was with Walker, I was sick the entire time. I was sick the entire time. I did videos. I was on my videos. If you look back and see my videos during that time where I was fully pregnant or just pregnant or, but my soul would leave my body so I could do those videos. And then there was a few of them where I got off the video and went straight to the bathroom and threw up. And you'd never know. And I worked really hard to do that because I really wanted to do that. But the pregnancy was tough. I'm just really grateful I got through it. And so when I came time to have him, Holland was breech because she was breech. So that's why I had to have a C-section. And Walker was like locked and loaded, head down, I think at 20 weeks. And so I was a good candidate to have a vaginal delivery, a VBAC. And that's what I wanted because I didn't want to have another C-section surgery. And honestly, I kind of wanted to experience it the other way and see what it was like. Neither way sounded fun, and there's no easy way to get a baby out of your body, but I was a good candidate for what is called a VBAC, and we did try that. So when I went to have Walker, we went to the hospital, and this is some of the stuff. There's so much to catch up on, and I don't want to go on too long because I could talk about this part for a long time. I could tell you I'm not going to tell you all the details, but basically we went to the hospital and they started me on a drug called Pitocin, and that's supposed to kind of take you into labor on its own if you're not actively in labor, which I wasn't. And being 40 years old, and they want you to have your baby at 39 weeks most of the time. And that sounded good to me because I was having a really difficult pregnancy. I was counting the hours until it was time to have him. I did not want to go another week or even 2 weeks. I could have gone another 3 weeks. They let you go all the way to 42 weeks sometimes. 40, 41, 42. Oh, that would have been 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, no. But some people do that. I was not, I wanted to have the baby. So we did the Pitocin and like the false labor for 12 hours and I didn't dilate at all. And I said, how long do people do this? Like, how long could I possibly be here until I start to dilate and can have this baby? And they said some people will do it for up to 5 days as long as the baby's not in distress. And as soon as she said that, I just said, do you have any time to give me a C-section today? Because I am not doing that. And C-sections are hard, but I was like, I'm not doing this for 5 days. It was not for me. And it might not have been 5 days, but who knows? I didn't dilate at all after 12 hours. So I had a C-section, and we'll put a couple of the pictures here where you can see where I had him, and Derek was with me. It was a lot like deja vu, like we were saying to each other as I was laying on the table, can you believe that we're doing this again? Like this is happening again. I had an amazing team that did the C-section, and I had an incredible surgeon who sewed me back up and did such a beautiful job. I have had so many compliments from all my people that have been helping take care of me and all the doctors and nurses that say it was just such a great job. So I am really thankful for that. And I didn't have any post-surgery problems, even though the recovery itself was intense. This is why I'm now doing a video at 10 weeks postpartum instead of 10 days. And my therapist and Christopher actually really encouraged me not to compare experiences and not to compare pregnancies. And I'm not comparing babies, but I will say a lot, well, Holland didn't do this, or with my first C-section, it was like this. And that's okay, because I have done it once before and that was an experience. But with my first C-section, I remember being able to mildly kind of walk around and do stuff around the house around 5 days. And then I came here at 10 days postpartum and lightly started getting back to work and was driving. And I don't want to say it was easy. I don't remember it being easy. I do remember it being painful, but it was nothing like this time. So this time I was down for the count for, I didn't even start going for little walks around the block until I think it was 4 weeks, because it was just the healing took longer. Everything was just more intense. And I am so thankful I didn't have any other like issues after. I healed well. And it's probably also because I was 5 years older. That makes a difference. And I am in really good shape, but it was hard. I'm just going to say it. I mean, and it still is. Not even like right now, still, if I like turn strange or I pick up something too heavy, especially like the turning, that is still really painful. That'll get me I'll stop and I'll be like, oh, that wasn't good. Or stretching. It's, and just walking still. I get very sore very quickly. And I'm just so thankful that I can go at my own pace. But I still, through all of it, and my wonderful team helped me so much to work ahead and to get a lot of things done. I still, through all of it, was working very hard. This was on me, but I'm just going to tell you, and I know that you know I'm a very hard worker, and this is my entrepreneurial spirit, but I was answering emails after my C-section before the numbing, even before I could even feel my legs again. I was like answering emails and stuff, and I had an out of office on there. I did not have to do this, but that's how my brain works. I want to fix and take care of everything as soon and as often as I can, and it's just how I'm wired. So while I was trying to do all of this, I was working immediately. I was working a little bit less because we had worked ahead, but I was working immediately. And just, again, so thankful, but I didn't have a traditional postpartum where you come back to work at 8 weeks or 12 weeks, which still feels so incredibly soon, where you're at home and you don't have to think about work. I have. Now, with that said, I love my job. I love my career. I am so thankful for it. But I was and still am balancing a lot of things. And I get so many wonderful emails and letters of encouragement and comments of encouragement from you, from people all over the world that see me out here taking my baby to work and balancing, and he's in videos, not because the show must go on, and we're trying to do our thing. So in my life, this hasn't happened in a while, but I'm sitting there answering emails, pumping milk, eating, like what else could I be doing at the same time? I'm usually doing like 9 things at once. And it feels like it because I'm thinking about it. But overall, I would say at 10 weeks now, I'm doing pretty darn good. Now, the difference between 2 and 1 is a big difference. My time, he really needs me. Again, Derek's here right now, but if Derek wasn't, I would be holding him, which I'm sure that you'd like to see him, and I'll bring him in at the end. But it's been quite the journey of just trying to balance a 4.5-year-old, a business, and laundry, and all the things. Sleep. That's been another thing. I think I'm doing pretty good too, but gosh, prior to having children, if I only got 5 hours of sleep, I would be needing energy drinks, and I'd be dragging, and I'd be so tired. And now if I got 5 hours straight, I would feel like I was born again. But that's just not where I'm at right now. So we're just working with it. And I'm happy that I can, if I just don't feel well, or I am breastfeeding and pumping like full time. He hasn't had any formula in like weeks. He had it in the very beginning while my milk was coming in, but once in a while we give it to him because it's like so sweet. It's kind of like a milkshake and it's like a treat, but I'm fully feeding him, and that puts a toll on your body too. It just, the milk, like if you don't eat and drink enough, it'll still pull from you, and then you start to get lightheaded and nauseous, at least me. And so that's a whole thing too. Like that's a whole job in itself, is keeping a baby nourished and doing all that. I pumped milk and breastfed with Holland until she was a year. And I don't know how long I'm going to do that this time. That'll be to be determined. And especially once he starts eating food, but that's another thought. I'm here, I'm doing that. I have a little area on the side of the shop where we have a lot of our inventory, where this time I brought in a nursing chair, and I have a little like nursery set up, which has made a big difference. The first time around, it was kind of on the fly. I would pump anywhere, and I didn't have like a nursery, and I'd change her diaper on the floor. And it wasn't, this time I really wanted to have it set up just to make my experience easier. And so I have that here, which is so nice. But some days I do wish that we could have like a professional. So I think it was in China where they have a job that is an actual legitimate job where somebody is a professional panda cuddler, and that's what they do all day is cuddle the pandas and make them feel safe and loved. Sometimes I wish we had a professional, which I guess would be a nanny or something, that was a professional baby cuddler. And then I could go and do things. But most of the time I just wear him in my pouch, and he's very happy with that. And so some days I'll take him out to feed him and to change him, but he's in my pouch pretty much from all day, from the moment I get to work to when we get back home to when we go to bed. So it definitely takes a toll on my back, but you know, you do what you got to do to make it through. And that's the thing is like, I don't, you know, I love him so much, and I'm so glad he's here, and I'm so thankful he's a part of our family, and that I, at 40, did the thing to have another baby and went through the hard pregnancy, and I'm so thankful to have a son, and we love him so much. At the same time, that it can be hard too. And truly, I don't know many mothers where at 9 weeks, 10 weeks, where you're still, this is still the newborn stage. They call it the 4th trimester, where it's like easy breezy. For a few people it might be. In fact, for us with Holland, it was pretty easy breezy. But from what I've heard from fellow friends and the feedback I've gotten from deep dives on Reddit at 3 in the morning, it's all very, 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 very normal. So, and we love him so much, and he's so healthy, and that is the most important thing. And I know in a year from now, he's going to be just in school and running around, and it's just going to be so different. So I that's on the really tired days, like that's what gets me through, is just knowing that this is just a season. And yes, it is hard to do X, Y, and Z that I was used to before, but that's okay. We're going to work with it, and we're going to roll with it, and we're going to, if the laundry doesn't get completely done and the way that I like to do it and all done, like I like to have the laundry all done, folded, done. I do it about twice a week, just like done. And that hasn't happened in a while. I'll get through half of it, but leaning down with a baby in your pouch or getting it out of the washer with a baby in your pouch is really hard. So it just, you fit it in when you can fit it in, and that's fine. So health-wise though, I think I'm doing really good. The interesting thing is when I had Holland Diane, I had this thing with the pregnancy that anytime I was low on food, and I'm talking just a smidge low, just like where you just get that itch where you just like, oh yeah, I could eat, or you like start to get hungry. Pregnancy for me, that felt like an emergency. I felt like I was going to pass out. If I went too long, I felt like I was dying. I truly did. I would start to throw up. I would get lightheaded. I would get anxious. I would get nervous. I would actually have to lay down, and then I would have to throw up if I didn't eat within a very quick time frame of feeling that way. And therefore, I gained a ton of weight. So with Holland Diane, after it was all said and done, after I had her, I had exactly 70 pounds to lose. And lo and behold, this time around, where I thought, oh yeah, it's not going to be that way. And I even got a treadmill for work, and I was going to like work out the whole time and keep running while I'm at my job and everything. Well, none of that transpired. And guess what? I gained, which is so crazy, down to the ounce, exactly 70 pounds. So I have been not putting like all this like crazy pressure on myself or anything like that, because I'm making milk and I want to be healthy, and it took 40 weeks to, you know, make a baby and to gain the weight, which is what my body does to have a healthy pregnancy. And I know this, so I'm not putting like tons of pressure, but it is hard to carry around that extra weight. I get tired faster, my legs hurt, my joints hurt, like it's a big difference. And it was a short period of time to go from one to the other. So I have been really eating well and trying to walk and trying to get my steps. And I have a watch that helps me gauge the steps and everything like that. But speaking of my watch, one thing that is so interesting is my resting heart rate when I was pregnant was 120 to 130. And sometimes it even got up to 140 beats per minute, just resting. That's how hard the pregnancy, like that's how hard my body was working to maintain the pregnancy. And let's see what it is right now. 94. But usually it's like much less than, usually it's between 79 and 80. And it was so funny. The watch gave me, about a week after I gave birth, the watch gave me one of those pings, and it said, your resting heart rate has decreased a lot. It said like the trend has decreased a lot in the last week. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's because I just had a baby. But also this week they said, your amount of steps has increased dramatically since last month. And I said, yeah, well, the watch doesn't know, but it's because I'm able to move more and because my body is slowly but surely healing from having a baby. So there's that. And we're doing the dang thing. And so he's in our videos, and I'm a mom of two babies, which is so crazy. I wanted to, if you didn't see him in our Anne video, I just wanted to touch on this. This is so sweet. This is the blue bear. This is a Tiffany blue bear that Robert Tonner sent to us for Walker. And this is so sweet. He sent one to me for when we had Holland 2. Robert and Harris, his husband, sent this. And this is so dang sweet. And I am so thankful for Robert and Harris. Both of them are wonderful, amazing friends of mine. But for what we have done with Robert since the beginning, I will tell you without a doubt, if we didn't start the subscriptions and we didn't start selling Tonner dolls again and having this partnership and doing what we do, this shop, even with the stuff we were doing with Virtual Doll Convention, if I was just relying on what we were doing before with antique and vintage dolls, and then especially after Linda and Stanley retired, if I was relying on that as my source of income, the shop would have been toast in 2021. We would have barely made it past the pandemic, and then I couldn't have afforded it. Couldn't have afforded the property taxes, certainly couldn't have afforded to have any employees, and I would have been toast. Sizzle, sizzle, I would have had to sell everything and it would have been gone. And so the fact that so many people wanted Robert's dolls back, that we were able to, as our own, to start the subscriptions with Robert's blessing and partnership with that. And the fact that we were able to do that is just, it's why we're here. So we do other things, and I do buy and sell other things, but for the most part, that's what we do. We offer subscription services and doll clothes and dolls, and for modern dolls. And it has been such a blast. And if you knew me back in the beginning, I'm the same Rachel, but it's just a lot different now. We do business in a different way. We evolve and do different things, but I am so grateful. And speaking of Robert and gratitude, I also wanted to touch on the fact that it's June and it is Pride Month. So if you are a member of the LGBTQ community, I want to just say to you for a minute that I am grateful that you're here. I am grateful that you're a part of our world, and queer people, gay people, lesbians, people in between, anyone of any sort, but especially the queer and gay community. You have made an impact on my life so deeply, and our world and this shop is so much more beautiful because you are in it and because of all of your talents. And that's half of my team is gay, and the dolls that we enjoy and so many things that we consume and enjoy are made by gay people, and to celebrate them and to make sure that they feel welcome, I think it is so important. When I was younger, I remember going to a gay bar once, and that gay bar made me feel so safe, so beautiful, so loved, so wanted as a person and as a friend. And it felt nothing like going to a gay bar or a straight bar full of a bunch of straight guys that would not act like that. So I appreciate the community, and I thank you. I thank you. Even my wonderful hairstylist, Josh, that I saw last week, like making me look beautiful. So thank you for all of the dolls and for all of your talents and everything that you do, the members of the Pride community. So thank you. We love you. To catch up on life, that pretty much catches us up for the most part about having the baby and coming back to work. And, if you have any questions about anything like that, I'm happy to answer. Just put them in the comments. But, I'm just doing it the only way I know how. And a lot of times I get a lot of strength from thinking about my mother, who also did the exact same thing, almost on the exact timeline of having babies, coming to work and doing the thing and bringing her babies to work. And then we were doing the exact same thing on the same timeline, which is so wild to me. And also, like, she had a boy and a girl around the same time period too. Paul and I are 3.5 years apart. Holland and Walker are 4.5 years apart, but it is good. But one thing that has made a really big difference too is that Derek's studio has now opened. So I've talked about this in a lot of videos, but he opened up and is fully settled into his studio up the street. And when I say up the street, it is on the same block, walking distance. I go out to the sidewalk, I can see it, it's right there. And that is so cool. So he can just bop down, which he just came down right now to help take care of Walker while I'm filming this video. And just anytime, unless he's teaching, which is a lot. So I'm gonna say anytime I need him. Usually a lot of times when I do need him, he is teaching classes. But if I really needed him, I could just walk down there and knock on the door. So that is a really big thing for our family. We are so excited for when Holland Diane gets a little older and can go to work with Dad. And I used to go to work with Mom all the time during the summer, especially when school was out. And the fact that we're right next to each other, so she can come to the doll shop, she can go to the clay studio. Derek's gonna build her like a little bungalow that has a TV and a couch, and she can hang out. And that's gonna make a big difference for during the summer for sure. Right now, Holland's in a school that is year round, which makes such a difference. If she was out right now for the summer, I mean, that would be really tough. We'd have to have her in some kind of summer care, but she's in a wonderful school. So that is really cool. Derek is open. So if you know anybody in Denver that wants private lessons or would love to come to the best studio in town, send them on over. It's right next to the doll shop, so you can make the rounds. You can come and visit both places, but beware when you visit here if I don't know you're coming. Like I'll be honest, and you probably know, I did hair and makeup because I knew I was going to be on camera and talking to you. A lot of days, sometimes just getting out and getting the baby and getting to work and showering and just getting to work is like plenty. That's basically all I can do. And sometimes I'll touch up in the bathroom, but I don't always look like this. So glamorous. Sometimes you just do what you got to do. But I know that you understand because I've done videos in every way. And that's another thing about what we do here and how I am with you and how we are as a company is like, come as you are. You're welcome any way that you are today. So some days I am stressed and thinking about a lot of things and on the verge of tears the whole day. Not all the time, but sometimes I just have days like that. Sometimes I'm doing great and everything feels light and and that's life. And so the way that you are is the way that you're intended to be. And so I'm saying all of that because if you show up and you don't recognize me, then you'll recognize my voice. You'll recognize my voice. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's been a journey, and sharing it with you has been such a cool thing to be able to. So many of you who know me since when I worked at Ruby Lane, and when I was doing all my videos at Ruby Lane and going to convention and going on booth tours and interviewing all of the sellers in all the booths and doing all of that. And then I stepped down from Ruby Lane and started Virtual Doll Convention, you know, evolving with Virtual Doll Convention and evolving the subscriptions and the products that we offer has been like such a journey. And many of you have been with me, whether you buy our stuff or not, whether you're purely into antiques and that's how you found me, but you're still following the journey and being with us. So it's been fun. And I see your wonderful comments. I try to comment back on as many as I possibly can, but I always read everything. So just know that if I didn't comment back, and you know, I always read and appreciate every single thing that gets posted. So I do see everything. Whether I can comment back a lot of the time is really hard because I am spread really, really thin right now. And when it takes me several days to sometimes respond to an email, and I do have help with emails right now, if it does take a bit, you guys are always so understanding, and so thank you so much. But with that, if it's like over a week or something, resend it, because I've actually had some of your emails go to my junk mail and then we don't see them until a month later or something, and I don't ever want you to feel like we missed it or we're ignoring you. So that's a business thing. But if you don't get a response, circle back. So this was just a personal catch up. I just wanted to catch up with you and see how you're doing. So why don't we take the camera around the corner and see how Walker Paul and his daddy are doing in our little nursery. Now, when I say a nursery, it's not a dreamy, cute nursery. It's a utilitarian nursery. I've got my chair there and we've got a changing table, and it's back where we store stuff. But it's a comfy chair and we've got a nice little side table, and it works perfect for having your baby at work. So let's go catch it up and see what's going on back there. And then I'm going to go back to work stuffing the Ann subscription boxes and answering emails and getting ready for our Elowen launch, which this is airing after that. And yeah, so let's go see what they're doing. And then that about marks the end of the video. So we'll go see that. But I just want to say thank you for being here. If you made it till the very end, this was pretty much just talking about my pregnancy, but it was just some stuff that I wanted to share with you. And I really love these kind of videos. I don't know how much you enjoy them, because we do come here a lot for doll content, but the community and sharing is a really big part of that. And it always has been. So these are videos that I have always also done since the very beginning, and I don't like this much time to go between them, but I am so thankful that I was able to actually do this one today, that I'm in a headspace, a physical space, an everything space to be able to catch up and to talk about it and to have this moment. So we'll go see how to Walker Paul. It sounds like he might be sleeping because he's not squawking, and then I'll see you on the next one. So I love you so much. Okay, the lights are dim. We're gonna see what's going on back here. Were you asleep?
Well, just resting my eyes a little bit.
I don't know if you guys can hear because my microphone's on, but he said he was resting his eyes.
Nice cozy spot here.
It's pretty cozy, huh? Oh, oh, sweet love. Did he eat?
A little bit.
Okay, so this is where we have the chair. This is our old nursery chair, which was perfect for here. And then this is just a basket of onesies, and those are my pumping parts. And the pump, that's just some extra formula if we need it. We haven't needed it yet, but and then the changing table and diapers, and then it's next to all the inventory. those are grace boxes right there. So don't worry, none of it. We won't get any milk on your grace boxes, but they look kind of yellow because the lights are off back here. But if we turn, you can see this is our little kind of back area where we keep it all. So that's a lamp that Paul brought in to give it some ambiance. That is my treadmill that I used a total of twice, thinking I would be, hitting the treadmill every morning during my pregnancy. But I can actually use it again now that I'm feeling better. And there's our little baby Bjorn bouncer and a bog bag and another chair. So it's actually quite peaceful back here. Yeah. So sweet. Before we're gonna sign off, I want to show you what it's like. So I just signed off of my video, took off my suit, and here's our little buddy. He was laying on Daddy, so he's got a little bit of red skin from laying on Daddy. But this is the pouch. You've probably seen it in pictures, and we now have several pouches, 3 of them, and yeah. He likes to be in there. Sometimes I loosen it. Sometimes he likes to be real tight. Sometimes I loosen it a little bit. But you can do this. And you just got to make sure that he can... Oh, I mean, he's so sweet. But this is what I do. So you've got, on the front of you. But just know that your subscription boxes were made by, not all of them, but a lot of them, were made by Walker and Rachel, so that's very exciting. So anyway, thanks for catching up with me today, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.